doing research on extended wear in 1975, graduating in 79, and some people say I must have been about 12 when I graduated, but a little older. So there's so many contact lens options, and I think I fit all of them and manage the complications and try to keep patients happy and in contact lenses. We have daily disposables, reusable lenses in so many different modalities, GP lenses that have changed so much from when I was going to school. We were doing PMMAs, and by the time I graduated, I was only using gas permeable lenses. But the market remains relatively flat, which means as we fit new people, there are people dropping out. And that's the big challenge in our industry, is to keep patients happy, comfortable, and being positive about contact lens wear rather than dropping out. So we have key issues are on-eye performance, comfort, huge, probably even more important than vision, because vanity is a big motivator in contact lenses. But if a patient is not comfortable, they are going to drop out. And so we have to keep them comfortable. And then, of course, having the lens systems be easy, maintaining patient compliance, and of course, educating them, because patients will do everything possible wrong. So, soft lens problem solving, we don't have a lot of options. Basically, we can change how frequently they replace their lenses, going from monthly. Of course, when I started, people were wearing some soft lenses for years, but monthly, 2-week lenses, 1 day. And although the trend has increased to 1 days, there's a lot of prescriptions that either do not work for a 1-day lens, or the cost becomes prohibitive. So it's interesting in different areas how that differs, but I think we'll always have lenses that are reused. And of course, we can change materials, going from materials that are more permeable, improving the surfaces of the materials, and changing their wetting ability. So gas permeable lenses, corneal lenses, we can change the materials. Originally silicone. As we add fluorinated products, we have the surface being more wettable, replacing the silicone, which is non-wetting, and then of course surface treatments. But they have their limitations too. Surface treatments, in the United States we use HydroPeg and plasma treat. I've noticed in the Netherlands it's much higher in HydroPeg, but those treatments have some serious limitations as well. Design changes, those are things that's kind of changing a lot. I mean, I'm from the generation that we modified lenses in office, so I don't use HydroPeg because you can't modify a lens once it has that surface treatment. And if you do a lot of keratoconus, at least, I don't know, I've spoiled my keratoconus patients, they have in-office modifications, and those are kind of things, becoming things of the past, because we all need to do volume. We need to see more patients, and it can't take 20 minutes to modify a contact lens and maintain my office schedule. So scleral lenses, one of the things that I would love to see people doing more is using OCT technology to see what's going on, not only for the doctor who's evaluating, or the lens fitter who's evaluating, but also as an example to patients as to what's going on. So here we have scleral lens impinging, real obvious, a little harder to see on the slit lamp, but very easy to see with the OCT. And then there's a little edge lift. We can really see what's going on, and then see the asymmetry when you're dealing with these surfaces that are horrible. You've got thinning, you've got variations in their corneal curvature, and you can't put a lens that's going to fit this half of the eye is not going to fit that half of the eye. So that, thankfully, we have these new technologies that really help. And we used to just put fluorescein in and judge, and that takes a lot of judgment, it takes a lot of experience, but you can measure how many nanometers we've got here in clearance. And so using that OCT can be very beneficial. But we've been talking about materials, physical things about the materials. But often what's neglected is the solutions, because it's very easy to say, oh, well, we'll put you in a different lens. But many problems are not the lens. Lenses are very well made now. The research and development, going back decades now, have developed products that are outstanding, and yet we still have patients that are uncomfortable. And we have, a lot of that has to do with that surface of that lens. And solutions can be the difference in many problems. So having solutions that have more efficiency and that are easier and that solve these problems, making lenses more comfortable, improving vision, and avoiding the human factors that really plague us as practitioners. So I want to talk to you about a totally new to me. In the United States, we have not had a povidone iodine system. And this is a system that goes back to the safety of betadine in surgical scrub. So povidone iodine, if you're going to have surgery, that skin is prepared. The area that's going to be the surgical site is cleaned, and the surgeon is washing his or her hands, scrubbing for a long time to make sure that their surface, that they're not introducing any pathogens. And the advantage of povidone iodine is it kills bacteria, viruses, even acanthamoeba. These are very strong chemicals, but they have been developed to be a very safe contact lens solution. So on the left we see Pluto, made by Optex for soft contact lenses, and the efficiency in killing in 2 minutes, 2 to 5 minutes, we've got all the pathogens that are required to be tested, as well as funguses and acanthamoeba are being killed. And this process is amazing how fast it is. When you compare that to hydrogen peroxide does kill most of those same things, but it does so much slower. But the thing that just revolutionized my opinion of this is the only system that sterilizes the case. So you have a contact lens solution. It's sterilizing everything that's liquid, everything that's underwater. Your case is not sterile. So which is the reason why hydrogen peroxide systems say if you've got this sterile disinfected system and it sits there on the shelf for a while because you're not a daily lens wearer, that lens needs to go through another cycle. How many of our patients do that? Pretty close to zero, I think, knowing my patients. So here you have something that's disinfecting the case, disinfecting the lens, disinfecting absolutely everything. Because otherwise, once you have that process done, turn it upside down, now your lens is no longer sterile. So it's pretty revolutionary. The other thing is they've added a hyaluronic acid derivative that prevents lysozymes from sticking to lenses. So lysozymes, protein by itself isn't really all that bad. When you think about an egg white is clear. It's not bad on a lens, but it gets denatured. With an egg, the egg that we eat, that denaturization process turns that protein that was clear into protein that's opaque. And the same thing is happening when lysozyme in the eye is being denatured. That denaturization process causes problems, and it develops the complications that are related. So on the left-hand side here, we have Cenefalcon A, also known as acute oasis, and they've deposited protein on that lens and then soaked it in a solution that is with the hyaluronic acid derivative and without. And it's pretty dramatic when we see the degree of deposition without the HAD and then with the HAD. And that's it's the matrix of the lens. On the front surface is most of the deposition. There's some within the matrix. But it's even more impressive when we look at bioaffinity. So here, the bioaffinity product is particularly effective. This product with HAD is extremely effective in reducing protein deposition. And in the earlier days of soft lenses, when people wore them a long time, we had a lot of problems with GPC, but we still have problems with the GPC. And I maintain that we have more problems with GPC because practitioners are not flipping eyelids. You start flipping eyelids, the first thing patients, nobody's ever done that. Well, they should have been. If you don't find the problems, you don't have the solutions. And in fact, if you can prevent some of these problems and catch it before someone is in your chair with decentered lenses, eyes that are uncomfortable, and you're having to go to pharmacological methods as well as perhaps discontinue lens wear, maybe forever even. So here we have the percent of denaturization with different solutions. On the left, just saline, and then we have common solutions here. And this is not a marketed product. This is essentially a Clear product that's formulated for experimentation purposes to see what happens with and without HAD. And so with the Oasis lens, you have a great direct, much less denatured protein, denatured lysozyme in the presence of the HAD. And the same thing with the bioaffinity, even more dramatic, to the point where if you're getting a bioaffinity lens, I think there's a real strong argument that you should be using a product that is specifically helping that lens stay good, stay clear. So the process of this system is, I think it's amazing. It's been used in Japan for nearly 20 years. It's been used in the Netherlands for a number of years. But it starts out with a bright orange solution. So you've got different systems for rigid lenses, gas permeable lenses, and soft lenses. But so we have a solution for the soft lens. The povidone iodine is in the tablet. There's a tablet that goes in the case, and it dissolves very quickly and turns that clear solution into a bright orange solution. You're not going to have someone accidentally putting a contact lens on that's bright, sitting in bright orange solution. And it's only bright orange for a few minutes. So they're putting the lens in the case, they're adding the tablet, it turns bright orange, and then it's neutralized. And the neutralizing agent is ascorbic acid, also known as vitamin C. So we're not talking about anything that's dangerous or a problem. And so very rapidly, that solution turns clear. And at the moment that the solution is clear, it's now disinfected. All these pathogens that might be present are killed. That process takes a total of 20 minutes. But the lens continues to soak for up to, the protease part of the tablet, it continues to work to be removing and preventing protein deposits. So in 4 hours, the entire process is done, and you have a disinfected lens with fewer protein, with fewer protein on it, and a surfactant that makes the lens more comfortable. So those three things can make things much easier, and the human factors are decreased because it is so simple. I don't think that front went forward. Okay, so in the GP product, now the solution in the bottle is bright orange. So you're not going to have someone accidentally saying, oh, this is my insertion solution. It's going to be bright orange, and go, whoa, what did I do here? So the povidone iodine is in the solution, and What I didn't mention earlier is the povidone iodine. It's the iodine gas that fills that entire case, covers every surface, whether that surface is dry or wet. So in about 5 minutes, that povidone iodine is disinfecting that lens. And then the tablet has a neutralizing agent in it, and it begins to neutralize. So after 5 minutes, and again, we've got all of the iodine is deactivated. There's zero toxicity there at 15 minutes. And then the additional protein remover and surfactant that makes the lens more comfortable finishes at 4 hours. So maybe the solution is the solution. So we have a booth. Optex is here, and I welcome anyone to come and ask. And I am, for getting a hold of me, I'm eyegal.com, EYEGAL.com. So Joan at eyegal, it all gets to be, and I'm happy to talk to people about any aspect of this and the practical application of what I think is going to be a revolutionary change within the industry.
Thank you, John. So you're going to be available for questions should anyone wish to come and bug you for a while?
I'm available for questions, and we've got some demonstration solutions and some good materials to take home.
Excellent, thank you very much. Okay, another round of applause for John, thank you. Okay, so we've got the next of our commercial presentation.